So, dear colleagues, we can officially start. I feel really very happy and proud to welcome you in one of the 4 parallel sessions of the founding conference of the Black Sea and Eastern Mediterranean Review. As you have probably heard in the frame of the introductory notes and remarks from the rector of the University of Nicosia, as well as from myself representing Aristotle University and the Faculty of Economic and Political Sciences, from Professor Kondos, representing the first editorial board of the review, and for sure also with very important remarks of the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs of Cyprus. We are here in the frame of a procedure which is the result, one of the very important results of a 4-year continuous effort from in the frame of the Black Sea and Eastern Mediterranean academic network. Zeman, a networking activity which started 4 years ago with the presence of many universities as founding members from the whole region of Black Sea and the Eastern Mediterranean. Among other things, it also gave the floor, it provided the floor for starting this new initiative. The Black Sea and Eastern Mediterranean Review is one of its kind, in the sense that it is the only one already now officially existing review, existing academic journal, which is focusing on international relations in any different direction in the specific area. And this, along with the fact that the specific area has a great significance historically, but also for the present and the future, given the fact that the specific area is full of prospects, but also full of problems, all this increases the meaning of the new initiative for starting with the specific journal with the Black Sea and Eastern Mediterranean Review. Special thanks to all of you who support this initiative, and I will be very, very happy to welcome your papers, not only for the today conference, but also for the first editions of the new journal. So, in the frame of the 4th session that I have the privilege to chair, we will discuss about sustainable development in the Black Sea and Eastern Mediterranean. And we have among us 5 papers to be presented. We will start with, according to the list prepared by my colleagues here in Cyprus, we will start with the presentation of the paper Sustainable Development of Territories in a Changing World Order, Russian South Practice and Trends. Karina Mekantseva and Tatiana Artamonova from Rostov State University of Economics are the 2 authors. Allow me also to say that as we have, in the meanwhile, less than 3 hours, it will be great, in order to leave also space for the discussion of your papers, it will be great if all the presenters can limit themselves within 15 minutes of presentation. Thank you very much, and please, Karina or Tatiana, the floor is yours. You have to unplug your mic. Okay, now we can hear you. Okay.
Hello, dear participants of the Conference on the Black Sea and Eastern Mediterranean. A report on the topic Sustainable Development of Territories in a Changing World Order, the South of Russian Practice and Trends is presented to your attention. In modern international relations and geopolitical process, an influence of energy resources remained unchanged. Energy resources influence both the building of a strategy and current diplomatic and political decisions related of the foreign policy and internal development of the country. Based on the federal law of the Russian Federation on the electric power industry and state standard non-traditional technology, renewable and alternative energy sources, we have determined what reference to renewable energy sources which are presented on the slide. It is worth noting that some sources that are classified as renewable are not actually recoverable and with someday we exhausted. An example is solar energy. Renewable energy in the world, especially wind and solar, has been developing rapidly in recent decades. The diagram shows the various capacity of renewable energy of the Russian Federation of January the 1st, 2020. Standards grow capacity of Russia power plants, including hydroelectric power plants, is 55,120 megawatts, while 1,395 megawatts photovoltaic, 670 megawatts of wind farm, 550 megawatts of smaller hydropower plants, and 74 megawatts of geothermal power plants. For wind and solar energy, a renewable energy production industry has been created, providing the production of solar modules of about 651 megawatts period and up to 800 megawatts period for wind energy. Referring to international standard, we have defined what is renewable energy and renewable energy sources. So according to ISO energy efficiency and renewable energy sources, common international terminology, part 2, renewable energy sources. Renewable energy is energy obtained from a renewable energy sources. A renewable energy sources is a source of energy that is not depleted when used through natural renewable at a rate greater than the rate of consumption. ISO energy management system is based on a continuous improvement management system model, which is also used in the development of other well-known standards such as ISO 9001 or ISO 40001. This mechanism facilitates an integration of energy efficiency measures in the quality management as well as environmental monitoring. In the Russian Federation, in accordance with the state standard non-traditional technology, renewable and alternative energy sources. Renewable energy is a field of economics, science and technology covering the production, transmission, transformation, accumulation and consumption of electrical, thermal and mechanical energy obtained through the use of renewable energy sources. State standard non-traditional technology, renewable and alternative energy sources. Wind energy is a branch of energy that receives electric by converted wind energy. In accordance with the information provided by the Russian Association of the Wind Industry, it can be said that in comparison with 2020, the capacity of wind farm in Russia in 2021 increased by almost 2 times, and the generation of wind farm in the wholesale market by 2.4 times. The total capacity of wind farm in Russia in 2043.44 megawatts, and the number of the wind turbines is 1,162 units. Now the slide shows the region of Russia with the most competition capacity. There is the south of Russia, the Volga region, the Murmansk region. The region in with the Kola wind power plants is currently being built. The larger regions is term of capacity is the Rostov region, then the Stavropol territory, more than 500 megawatts of power wind operate and are already partially operation in the 2 regions. There are more power station is south of the country. The Rostov region is one of the leaders in Russia in the development of green energy. In 2020, the Rostov region became the first region of the Russian Federation in terms of wind generated energy capacity. There are currently 4 wind farms operating in the region: Sulinskaya, Kamenskaya, Gukovskaya, and Kazachya. Most countries participating of BSRM are actively engaged in the development of energy. Speaking of the Black Sea coast, we would like to say about the wind energy in Bulgaria and Romania. Bulgaria's renewable energy production capacity is about 1,100 megawatts. This is about 20% of all capacity in the country. Of these 1,100 megawatts are from photovoltaic station, and the remaining 700 are wind turbines. Regarding energy efficiency, Romania integrates to reduce electricity consumption and encourage the use of renewable sources, relevant sectors such as heating, cooling, transport, and so on. Last November, the Romanian Senate approved a bill to create a support system for offshore wind energy in the Black Sea. Bulgaria is also working according to a common territorial plan with Romania, but her development is hampered by the lack of a framework in the field of the offshore wind energy. Green energy is a priority direction for the development of Russia and the Rostov region. This is directly that response to the request for compliance with the principle of sustainable development from society and the state. Thank you for your attention.
Dear colleagues, in conclusion of our paper, I want to say that in Russian Federation, Rostov region now is the most trend region concerning the wind energy. Why is it so? Because during the last 10 years, in accordance with the strategy of our region, we have the whole program for these wind parks, and now we can see that we are the first, not only in our country on the first positions, but also in the countries which is not far from us. I think it will be very useful for our colleagues to see the results not only in the energy but also in the ecological program of Rostov region. That's why we show the maps and show also the energy power of our wind farms, and I'm sure that in the future 10 years we will be on the first place in our country and in the countries which is not far from us. We just we are ready to show our wind farms, and we're waiting for you in our region. Any questions, colleagues?
Thank you. Thank you. Please, any questions? Can you hear me?
Dear colleagues,
Do you hear me now?
yeah,
Okay, okay. Thanks a lot for your presentation and your contribution. Are there any questions? Allow me only to say, which refers not only to your presentation, dear colleagues, but also generally to the content of the specific session. Uh, there are a lot of networks in the frame of the discussion for the Sustainable Development Goals, which can be used. I would like to inform everybody that the SDSN for Black Sea, SDSN is the, do you hear me? No, better. SDSN is the Sustainable Development Solutions Network. No?
can you repeat the question? Can you repeat the question once more? Do you
No.
hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? No? Okay. Okay, no problem. Any other questions? Okay, if there are no questions from the rest, we can proceed. I just wanted to have an information towards you for the fact that the SDSN for Black Sea, SDSN is the Sustainable Development Solutions Network of the United Nations, which is responsible for the promotion of the SDGs. And the chapter of this United Nations network, which is for the Black Sea, including Russia, Ukraine, and all the other countries of the region, is situated is located in Thessaloniki, in Aristotle University. We need to collaborate stronger with each other towards the reports that you are doing in order to have also from our side a direct view and a direct information how the development of SDGs in your area are. And therefore your contribution in that sense is very important. Any questions from the rest?
I want to say that in our region we have a report concerning SDG elements. It's not in the whole in the whole principles, but we just can discuss 7 goals from SDG project. And now we can say that the strategy of Rostov region include 11 goals, SDG goals. That's why our wind farms and the strategy, energy strategy of Rostov region is the part of ESG goals, and we need, I think, more competitions and comparisons with another region in order to understand the future trends in our region, I mean the Black Sea region, and also we are ready to show our experience in not only in Rostov-on-Don, but also in Taganrog, because it's the port of Azov Sea, which is connected with the Black Sea. I think it's a great understanding of ESG goals in such a not so big city, because Taganrog is not far from Rostov region, in Rostov region, not far from Rostov-on-Don, and you know that Rostov-on-Don is the city with the million population. And Taganrog, they have only 30,000 of people. But the ESG goals is also realized on these territories, and it's a territory of the Black Sea. If you see, if we just can turn to the last slide, you can see that in Russian Federation, we have the more wide experience in the wind farms. And so we are ready to show them and to show the results, I mean the results in the ESG goals of our region. Okay, maybe questions on the last slides.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now we can proceed. I just wanted also, following the last notes, comments of Tatiana, to say that it is true that there needs to be a continuous comparison between different countries. That's why also this SDSA focus on the Black Sea. And at the same time, we are running of an observatory, which will focus exactly on the comparisons of the different ways how the SDGs in the region are. Okay, sorry, you probably don't understand me, don't hear me so well, so we can proceed now, in any case, with the second paper, the one of Elena Yulia and Silvia Dumitrescu-Popa from Bucharest University of Economic Studies. The title of the paper is Black Sea and the Eastern Mediterranean Approach to Sustainable Development. So please, Elena, Yulia, or Silvia, the floor is yours. Hello, can you hear me? Elena, Yulia, or Silvia? I see that you are online. I don't know why you can't. Why we cannot hear you. Hello, Mr. Dumitrescu-Popa, Ms. Hita, for the presentation of the second paper. Okay, just a moment, Sil. Okay, now I think it's functioning. Sylvia, we see you. You should open your mic and your camera. Okay. From the technical support, there is a message that asks you to refresh your window, to refresh your connection.
Okay, it worked. Can you hear me?
Perfect, perfect.
Okay.
Now we can hear you and see you.
Okay. Also, my colleague is dealing with a bit of a technical issue here. We are not familiarized with the platform, so sorry.
No problem. Okay, so I think you can also share your
Yeah, share my
presentation
screen.
if
Just a
you'd
second.
like. Yeah.
Just a second. Okay. Share this without audio. Can you see the slideshow? Can you see the presentation?
Yes, we can see. Now it's perfect.
Okay. Yulia, did you manage to get in, or can I start without you? I don't know. Can you upload me at the end? Okay, she didn't enter. I will start if she can make her.
Julia sent a message. We can't hear you, Elena, but we read your messages. This is something at least.
If you succeed, you can enter.
But in
I
any
can
case,
take.
Sylvia, can you start perhaps so that
Okay.
yeah.
So we propose the title, the Black Sea and East Mediterranean Approach on Sustainable Development. We want to talk about the approach of the countries in this area, which regards what are their approaches to development. A little summary of what we want to talk about the region, and a little PESLE analysis and what our main conclusions were. So geography, where the region is located. To start with this PESLE analysis, we want to talk about the political, economical, social, technological, legal, and environmental aspects of the region. At political government stability, financial stimulus, strategic plans, basically what the government propose in a country or in an area. The economic, we are talking numbers here. Basically, in the social area, we want to talk about demographics, trends, media views, laws. But in the technological area, the development of technology, relevant current and future technologies. And now the legal area, employment, competition, health and safety, environment legislation, future legislation changes, aspects like that. And in the end, we'll talk about environmental relationship with the global warming, strategies regarding recycling, and fighting against waste, circular economy, and going towards a green economy. Okay, starting with the political analysis. Sure, we can say the Black Sea Basin is the meeting of the place with flourishing civilization, imperial ambitions, confrontation, and domination to control economic and cultural synergies. We know that by history, most of the countries in the Black Sea regions, including the Balkans, have long faced serious vulnerabilities in terms of strategy, security, due to their dependence of a secure source of gas supply from Russia, and those are exposed economical pressure and blackmail. The Black Sea region is extremely important for the West because of two aspects. The area is a vulnerability for NATO because it's its eastern flank. It has a special economic importance. However, we learn to cope with the inconvenience caused by the situation and have sought ways to accommodate it while trying to diversify the sources and improve the energy balance. There has been always a contradiction between the need to reform the political system of some Mediterranean countries and maintaining a less apparency of the EU status quo over the desire to avoid open confrontation. For the economic analysis, we chose some aspects like the fact that the EU adopted in the process of implementing the coherent set of legislative and regulatory measures to improve the position and the energy on energy and reduce the effects of the monopolistic practices. EU Energy from June 2014, Packages Energy Union from March 2015, and the European Commission's initiative to connect gas grids in Central and Southeastern Europe from 2015. The economic impact of the Black Sea in the West is given by the need to diversify energy sources, diversification possibly only in context which the networks and transmission lines of energy reduces in and throw the Black Sea out of Russia's control. The European Union is a major provider of assistance to the Mediterranean countries. The region's dependence on exports and external assistance make it a sensitive area, vulnerable to fluctuations in the foreign market. Foreign direct investments is asymmetrically distributed to the Mediterranean region.
You can hear me? Hello, sorry.
Okay, she's in.
Yes, I'm here. Sorry, I have some.
We can hear you also, Elena.
Elena,
yes, once I can continue because we try to split this article in two. Me to write on my first three letters, P, A, E, and S, and Sylvia for the rest of them. Here it was very interesting to find out that the European Union is trying to help also the Black Sea region, also the Mediterranean region, because they have some keywords like energy and especially renewable energy. And we will try to find more between terms like foreign direct investment to see exactly how and which region will best profit on this. And especially, I think it will be very interesting to see in Mediterranean areas, in countries like Libya, Egypt, and Algeria. We will profound in the article because we try to do a draft of for now. Sylvia, you can. The social analysis also, it was very interesting to find out that we have four main pillars for research and innovation, especially on the fundamental challenges of the Black Sea research, on the clusters that support the blue growth and blue economy of the Black Sea, the critical support system and innovative infrastructures, and the education and capacity building, especially with these gender differences.
Okay, so I'll go next because that was Julia's part. We want to talk about the technological analysis. In general, we can bring to attention that the fuel and transport industry as in electric vehicles are becoming more important, considering the starting of biofuel production company at this time should include the expected life cycle of the industry. Also, it's well known that the technological development of Europe's leading firm boosts their productivity. Failure to adopt new technologies is holding too many firms back. As a result, productivity and wage gaps are widening. The Black Sea region is an area of production and distribution of strategic importance for the EU energy and energy security. It has a significant potential for the diversification and the energy supply, and therefore a key element of the EU's external strategy in the energy sector. Going on, we're going to go to the legal analysis. Here we find out that the Council of Europe and the OSCE have established rules on human rights and democracy that applies all to the Black Sea states. In this respect, the EU actions are mainly bilateral in nature. However, actions taken at regional level can play an important role in consolidating and boosting the national measures. In recent years, the organizations around the Black Sea region, governments have committed themselves to create more democratic institutions and to promote good governance and the rule of law. The EU supports the regional initiative by sharing experience gained by the field in promoting, defending human rights and democracy by proposing programs for training and changing by stimulating regional dialogue with civil society. But I want to move next to the environmental analysis to make it a little bit short. The Black Sea region is an area of production and distribution of strategic importance for the EU energy and security. It has a significant potential for diversification energy supply and therefore a key element of the EU external strategy in energy sector. The Commission is developing a collaboration with its partners in a new energy corridor on the axis Caspian Sea, Black Sea. Therefore, there are mentioned corridor offers several possibilities for additional exports of natural gas from the Central Asia through the region of the Black Sea. However, moreover, taking into account the increase of the amount of oil that is transited in the Black Sea, this is a concern for safety and for the environment. The countries in this area need to improve the implementation of mutual environmental agreements and establish more strategical environment cooperation in the region. In this context, in which the regional approach would bring real benefits, we also talk about here of the aspects from the Kyoto Protocol that will involve countries around the Black Sea region in an international discussion for future action according to the protocol. And at last, not our main conclusions. The configuration of the Black Sea region has changed considerably in recent years and will continue to evolve. Under these circumstances, the new EU region cooperation initiative would complement in its way in very wide range of activities currently carried out bilateral and sectorial level is useful. The presence of the European Union in the Black Sea region opens its way to new perspectives and possibilities. This requires consistent long-term actions, making the most of these possibilities and bringing greater stability and prosperity in the region. Greater EU involvement in the region cooperation in the Black Sea contributes to this goal. And more it is to come because this is only a draft at the moment. But in any case, we thank you for your attention.
Yes, and we are open to any directions or any comments, constructive comments on this.
Thank you. Thank you for your contribution. Allow me to say only that, as you correctly pointed out, the prospects of the Black Sea in terms of its contribution to a sustainable economic development, to a sustainable economic welfare increase is very very significant, very important. I know that there is an increasing, intensifying discussion about. I'm sure you know the term about the so-called blue economy, which deals with it refers to the sum of all sea-related sectors of economic production. Nevertheless, with a sustainable sign in front of them, sustainability in terms of socioeconomic but also environmental aspects. And therefore, it is important that there are already initiatives that combine the development of solutions for sustainability in the seas of the area. For instance, I'm sure you are aware of, there is this 3Cs initiative, which is an initiative in the European area covering the countries that are related to the Baltics, the Black Sea, and the Adriatic. And in a few weeks, we will have a very important conference for the experience from the 3Cs initiative and how this can be applied in the Balkans. On the other hand, there are also discussions going on for having another network outside the EU, mostly in Central Asia, a network that will combine the discussion and the efforts in another combination of 3Cs, Caspian, Black Sea, and the Eastern Mediterranean. And me and other colleagues will be in Baku International Forum next week for the discussions in this direction. So just small remarks and contributions of thoughts for your very interesting thematic. Any other questions?
More interesting, I guess, when we go deeply in the details with economical details and the statistics and so on. Now it was a draft. Yes.
Sure. The qualitative analysis needs to be backed up by quantitative aspects. Yeah. In any case, however, the one without the other is weaker. I'm saying that because also there are many studies which focus alone in the quantitative aspect, which is also not correct. I mean, both have to collaborate in a sense, the qualitative and the quantitative approach. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. So now we proceed. Thank you, Elena, Silvia. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tom.
We proceed now. The next paper, there are two papers that are in the list. The one is from Aliona Klosko from Sami National Agrarian University, and the title is The Prospect Development of the Agricultural Land Market in Ukraine. A very important issue given also the comments that we heard from the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Cyprus in the previous session about the food crisis that is upon us. And the second paper that is next to the list, is the one from Svitlana Zapara, again from Sami National Agrarian University, a paper with the title Sustainable Development of Ukraine After the War. I'm putting both papers on the table because I don't see my colleagues being yet connected, if I'm not mistaken. In the list of those who are connected, I don't see their names. I don't know if the technical support can assist me. But I have to ask, Aliana Klosko, can you hear us? or Svitlana Zapara. Can you hear us? Question to the support. Could it be that there are people in the waiting room or something like that that we, I suspect not, no? That we have to admit in the connection? Okay. Let me try with the chat. Colleagues, I'm afraid that we can't connect to Professor Zapara or Professor Klosko. Okay, all right. Yeah, we don't see them connected or whatever. In any case, we can proceed now with the next and last paper of the session. One is to sign along with open the presentation and to have a discussion of Can you see my presentation? Yes. I hope that you can hear me. Just a short confirmation that you can hear me, please, and that you can see the presentation. Okay, let me proceed. The paper that I would like to discuss with you is collaboration between myself and Lidis has two aspects. The one is going to be presented, the other is going to be described. The first aspect is a methodological innovative approach in order to deal with the study of spatial dimension of exports and imports, spatial dimension of data. Second, this is the actual implementation of the specific methodology. Is a work under progress, and what I can show you is the data that we need see that we collect also the similar example of an application of what the results could be. So let me proceed. As you see, the title of my presentation of paper, we are in the title we are dealing, as I said, with the methodological aspect, the spatial transformation of the so-called revealed comparative advantage index. A few words before we go into the necessity of all right. Now, in Orthodox economics, in Orthodox international economics, actually the idea behind international relations is that absolute and comparative advantage at the end governs the way how international exports and imports are constructed. Absolute advantage governs the different behavior of agents. It means that better products in lower prices are preferred. And in the standard and trade theory, having the aggregation of those individual rational behaviors, having the aggregation of all those individuals who rationally choose the better and of lower price products, this ends up in different procedures that reveal the comparative advantage. In other words, in the standard trade theory, each country is exporting stronger than importing the goods where, for some different reasons, as comparative advantages. May it be characteristics that refer to the climate of the country, or the environment, or the socio-economic aspects that makes it more easy or harder to produce goods, and so the technological aspects and so on, or the abundance of existing resources in capital and labor. So according to the Hexagon, so all these different characteristics in the standard trade theory create the belief that sooner or later each country will result in producing stronger in the second way as comparative advantage. So in other words, the standard trade theory understands the architecture of international relations as a structure of sectors, as a structure of different industries. Yet, in fact, the reality is not close perfectly. The reality is, in fact, quite different than the one that standard trade theory has in mind. Actually, the reality is the reality of intra-industry. It means of trade, which is actually export and import which are growing in the same sector, in the same industry. In the postmodern phase of globalization, intra-industry trade doubled share of the last decades, consisting today more than half of actual trade transactions. It means that if we see the exports and imports between countries, we realize that at the same time we are in the same sector. Therefore, whatever the reasons behind the intra-industry trade are, focusing alone in the architecture of trade flows according to the sector industries is not so much of the reality. In best case, hard to reality. So we need to think also another understand what is happening with international trade flow. And the other dimension where we have to think is the dimension of space, the dimension of geography, the so-called existence of horizontal spatial attributes in international trade, which significantly create flows, exports and imports from one country to the other. In the following, we will first, the main methodological contribution is to discuss with you this transformation, a simple but for us very important transformation of the regular Palasa index to reveal the underlying comparative advantage of the country, yet be careful not with respect to different sectors, but with respect to the destination country of its export. Afterwards, we'll discuss with you why it is important to apply a first empirical analysis of this spatial Palasa index or spatial comparative index, the Black Sea and Eastern Mediterranean countries. And finally, we will provide some examples of previously applied methodologies like that. Let me, I think the main message of the methodological part of the thing. Here what you have is the very simple form of the so-called Palasa index, or in other words, of the so-called revealed comparative advantage index. Forget the S in the beginning. The RCA index is simply an index which tells you if a country has stronger exports in a specific sector compared to the rest of the world. Let's take a closer look at the index. And for a moment, don't read the red points. Okay, focus only on the index. So the traditional RCA, the traditional Palasa index, the traditional revealed comparative advantage index says the following. We have first the share of a sector in a country's export. This is the first ratio. J represents in the traditional Palasa. J represents the sector. I is the country we are focusing on. The first ratio in the traditional RCA represents the share of each sector in the country's export. The second ratio, on the right hand side, represents the same share of the sector in the total world. In other words, if you compare those two, they are saying the same thing, yet for different dimensions. Now, what Palasa index is doing is, for instance, that it relates these two ratios and combines them and thereby creates a new ratio. A new ratio where in the nominator we have the percentage of the sector in a country's export, and the denominator consists of the percentage of the same sector share in total world export. For instance, if, let's say, if Greece is exporting twice, let's have an example. If Greece is exporting 5% of its exports in olive oil, while the rest of the world is exporting only 1% of their exports in olive oil, the revealed comparative advantage will be 5, which means that our share in Greece of exports in olive oil is five times so much as it is in the rest of the world. Very simplistic, nevertheless very useful in order to in order to reveal the sectoral architecture of board and national. Now, what we do, if you understood the Balasa index in the traditional form, now you can read the other two red points. What our methodological approach is all about is that we change the meaning of J. In other words, what we do is that J stands not for the different sectors in which we export, but J stands for the destination country of our export, of the export of country I. In other words, let me give you an example. If the denominator would be exports of Greece to Northern Macedonia divided by exports of Greece to the whole, and we realize that the exports of Greece to Northern Macedonia are around 50% of our population. And then on the denominator you have total exports of the whole of the world, North Macedonia over the whole world trade volume. And this would be around 0.5. So it means that Greece has 30 times stronger export activity. As you understand, by this spatial transformation of the Balasa index, what we reveal is not the sectoral aspect, but we reveal the geographical, the spatial advantage. If SRCA is greater, lower than 1, or lower than 1, this means that for some reasons which have to be detected, country I reveals an ability or a disability according to export countries. And this is very important, dear colleagues, because as I said before, by focusing only on the sectoral aspects of the sectoral aspects of trade architecture globally, we miss at least the half of the meaning of all trade volume all over the world. So we need also to focus on the spatial aspect, and this is what we do here. Nevertheless, so in the first part of the paper, we provide this new definition of a spatially defined reveal profile. Let me. It doesn't make any sense now to give you a picture of data that we use for different countries in East Mediterranean and in the Black Sea. Unfortunately, the results are but what we are going to present, hopefully, in one of the first pictures of Black Sea review, is to show exactly how this SRCA is with the different countries, the different bilateral relationships of the countries in the Black Sea and the East Mediterranean. And we have the feeling that we should be stronger than given the spatial proximity. But at the same time, we have the feeling that we will feel that there is a big potential, a big quantitative potential for increasing the direct bilateral trade flow between the countries. Now, the second methodological approach, the second methodological proposal in order to work in this direction is not a polarization. Is focused that what we are writing on this slide, what spatial RCA shows is if there is an ability to export more or less than the rest of the world to the partner. But Can you hear me now? Hope that you can hear me now. It's for a while. There is a problem with the battery of my mic. This was the problem initially. In any case, I think that the main message was given by my presentation. Allow me to say it really in a few words. It was now. I suspect that so we change the mic. Um, just a few words in order to close the uh, okay. A few words to close the presentation and to provide the main message. It is a paper. It was a paper that has two parts: a methodological one, which is very important for us, and application of the new methodology in the area of the Eastern Mediterranean and the Black Sea. The methodological one provides a simple but crucial transformation of the revealed comparative advantage index so that instead of revealing the strength of a country's export in a sector, it reveals with our transformation the strength of a country's export to another country. And therefore, thereby we are able to reveal the spatial next to the sectoral, the spatial aspects of trade architecture globally. The second part of the paper is the way how we can apply this new index and specifically in the area of the Eastern Mediterranean and Black Sea. It is a work under progress, and at the present we presented some results for Southern European countries, which many of them are in the area that we are speaking. Those are the contents of the paper in a few words. I don't know if there are any questions or remarks that needs to be discussed. Please.